This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Thursday, the 21st day of January in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. With the number of coronavirus cases in the country climbing steadily, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony has issued a warning to bars and hangout spots that have been flouting the COVID-19 gazetted order, which prohibits them from opening for business. Bars and nightclubs were ordered closed since last March, when the first gazetted order was announced. Although the order has been amended several times, allowing for some businesses to return to their regular operations, bars and nightclubs are to remain closed. But the National COVID-19 Task Force has found several bars and hangout spots quietly reopening their doors and reopening business. Last weekend, at least 4 city bars were ordered closed by the joint services. Today, the health minister said despite various forms of lobbying on behalf of bar owners, the order remains the same.
Bars are not permitted to be open. I know a lot of people have been lobbying for us to open bars, but this is prohibited by the order that was issued. So I hope people can abide by the law, because if you don't, you would suffer the consequences.
Dr. Anthony said efforts will also be made to clamp down on those parties at secret locations. Last week, the National Task Force eased some of the measures on restaurants, allowing them to host indoor dining for up to 40% of their capacity. They should also have tables and chairs 6 feet apart. The health minister said the Tourism Authority has been doing a good job with its efforts to ensure restaurants are following the guidelines.
They make an assessment of the capacity of the restaurant, and when they complete that exercise, they then would be able to give approval or don't give approval. Once you have all the things in place, there's a checklist that they're using, and once you have all the different things on the checklist in place, they'll give you approval.
Guyana has recorded more than 600 new cases of coronavirus in the past 20 days. In the past 24 hours, over 50 cases have been recorded. Health officials continue to encourage citizens to follow the guidelines and protect themselves from the virus. More news coming up in a moment.
People we have
weathered every storm
and risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
All the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
Our Comfort Inn and Guest House is your home away from home. Located at 1277 Central Amelia's Ward, we offer comfortable, affordable, air-conditioned, self-contained apartments with high-speed wireless internet access to make your stay luxurious. Whether you're overnighting, spending the weekend or longer, you're guaranteed satisfaction. Our hospitality is second to none. Rent our newly installed deck for your wedding, birthday party, or any other occasion. Call us today on 442-4186 or 672-2035 or 684-9009 for bookings and more information. R&R Comfort Inn and Guest House, where your comfort comes first.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. In the world of politics, the Liberty and Justice Party has disowned one of its own regional candidates for Region 8. And according to the LJP leader Lennox Schumann, the party no longer has confidence in that candidate, Jimmy James. James served as a regional candidate for the party in the last elections and was submitted by the party as its representative for the Region 8 Democratic Council. However, with the council still to be sworn in, the LJP has been making moves to recall the nomination. GCOM has not been responding to its request. At first, the LJP claimed that the nominee was no longer in good health to perform his functions as councillor, pointing to the man's COVID-19 diagnosis last year. He has made a full recovery and has said he is fit and ready to take up his seat. He has accused officials of his party of telling lies about him and his health. But the issue appears to be more than just concerns about the candidate's health. With the APNU AFC and the PPP tying with the same number of seats on the regional council, the LJP representative will be the one to break all ties on the council. The representative has already indicated that he intends to support the APNU AFC's nominee for chairman of the council, since it is that party which gained the most votes in the region with its marginal win over the PPP. LJP leader Lennox Schumann does not agree with that position, and in a video statement today on his Facebook page, he denounced the position of his candidate and accused the candidate of wanting to support rigging. Schumann, who currently works for the PPP government while holding an opposition seat in Parliament, also lashed out at the Guyana Elections Commission, accusing that body of deliberately ignoring his request to recall the candidate even before he has been sworn in. The Elections Commission has offered no comment on the issue, but the situation has led to the many delays in the Region 8 Council being sworn in, while being blamed on other issues. In the world of health, Guyana continues to rank high among the countries in the Americas most affected by cervical cancer. While figures for the last 2 reporting years are not immediately available, in 2018 there was an age-standardized incidence rate of 32.7 per 100,000 women. Between 2013 and 2017, cervical cancer was listed as the second most frequently diagnosed cancer in Guyana, with 523 new cases, or 16% of all reported cases. Based on information from the Ministry of Health, there were some 185 cervical cancer-related deaths. According to Dr. Martin Campbell of the Ministry of Health, the highest numbers of reported cervical cancer deaths are among women of African and East Indian descent. However, Amerindian women have a very high incidence of the human papilloma virus, which causes cervical cancer, with an increasing number of women under 25 being diagnosed. It was noted that the human papillomavirus was behind 99% of the cases of cervical cancer in Guyana. Dr. Campbell reminded that the HPV infection by itself is not sufficient for developing cervical cancer, since it usually requires the presence of other risk elements. Some of the symptoms include abnormal vaginal bleeding, bleeding after sexual intercourse, bleeding between menstrual cycles, menstruation lasting longer and heavier than normal, and excessive discharge in the vagina. The treatment usually involves radical surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation therapy, as well as psychological and social support. This month of January is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, and all month long the Ministry of Health has been conducting outreaches throughout the country, while at the same time advocating for women to get pap smears done. Well, following revelations that as Minister of Public Infrastructure, David Patterson accepted birthday and other gifts from agencies under his purview, Minister of Public Works Juan Edgil wants him to step down as chairman of the powerful Public Accounts Committee in the National Assembly. Edgil has indicated that based on documents and receipts during his time as government minister under the previous government, Mr. Patterson received more than $2 million in pricey gifts from various agencies under his portfolio.
Mr. Patterson, during his tenure as Minister of Public Infrastructure, received from agencies under his control gifts and personal items totaling $2.646 million. $2.646 million.
The minister also said he has also seen similar information which points to the junior minister of the same ministry at the time, Annette Ferguson, receiving gifts too from various departments. In a statement on the issue, Mr. Patterson has admitted to receiving some of the gifts. He has claimed that government agencies giving gifts to their subject ministers on special occasions was nothing new, and also occurred under the previous PPP civic government. Patterson appears not to be budging from his position as chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, and he has stated that he never requested or solicited any of the gifts that he received. The Public Accounts Committee is considered the most important parliamentary committee, as it overlooks government spending. Let's tell you now that local authorities have commenced examining ways to legally deal with the transfer of human organs. The government of Guyana has announced that it is pursuing the enactment of legislation to govern human tissue transplant from the body of one living person to another, and ethical issues relating to human tissue transplant and any other matter that may arise regarding such. The disclosure came from the Office of the Minister of Legal Affairs, which stated that Guyana is currently deprived of legislation governing, authorizing, and regulating the donation of tissue and organs to persons who meet the criteria of either being a donor or recipient of such a donation. The enactment of the requisite legislation is being seen as a way to protect locals from being victims of trafficking in human organs and tissue. The legislation will also propose to address the prohibition of trade in human tissue, organs, and blood, and as a result will create offenses and penalties to monitor such incidents, though there has not been widespread reports of such. The Attorney General Adel Nandlal recently met with the members of the Guyana Medical Council on the issue.
Been through it all.
But as a people we have
Weathered every storm.
And risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
all the people,
Regardless of race,
class, or religion.
we are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Due to the impacts of the global pandemic, COVID-19 across our nation, essential organizations like us have chosen to adopt innovative approaches to meet the emerging needs of our customers while protecting our employees. Here are some quick tips to make managing your GPL bill easier while we practice social distancing. To register for electronic billing, you can use the e-billing tab on your website. To access your bill balance, you can use 4 options: the website live chat at gpl.net, the online inquiry on our website under billing, SMS Freedom by texting your GPL reference number to 624-0400 or 608-8400, or call our call center at 226-2600. A message from the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Across the region right now, let's begin in Jamaica. In wake of a deadly weekend in which bloodthirsty gangsters snuffed out the lives of 25 Jamaicans and left several nursing injuries, the government has pledged to ramp up the fight against crime and rein in the raw brutality. In St. James, where 6 persons were killed in Norwood and Salt Spring, the scene superintendent for the area, Vernon Ellis, who heads the police division, is calling for a reinstatement of a state of emergency or a security initiative with similar powers to help his officers get a grip on the violence. On Monday, the National Security Minister in Jamaica, Dr. Horace Chang, visited the area seeking to assure residents that every effort is being made to restore calm and bring the criminals to justice. Ecuador plans to vaccinate some 9 million people against COVID-19 between March and September by partnering with private sector health providers to distribute doses from various vaccine manufacturers, the health minister has announced. The government of Ecuador has set aside $200 million to purchase vaccines from 7 companies and will focus the vaccination program almost entirely on the adult population. Mass vaccination will begin in March, but the government hopes in January to have the first 50,000 doses of the vaccine from Pfizer Inc. and BioNTech for inoculating senior citizens in shelters and medical personnel working in hospitals that treat COVID-19 patients. That would be enough to vaccinate 25,000 people with the 2-dose vaccine. And finally, tonight, international news. 5 persons were killed in a fire at the site of the world's largest vaccine producer in western India. The blaze started at the building, which was still under construction, at the Serum Institute of India's facilities in Pune on Thursday afternoon. Footage showed thick plumes of smoke bellowing from a building on the company's sprawling site. The company said vaccine production would not be affected. The cause of the fire has not been identified. The fire was brought under control, but the city's mayor confirmed that 5 persons had died. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.